Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. It's 8:30 a.m. Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. Out in the world where I am ShanteyJ. Good morning. It's one of those things that caught my attention, but it's also one of those things that I wanted to think about before I got on here and opened my mouth. But it's one of those things. So it's not about nothing about ready-made families. It's just sometimes I'm noticing, because it's one of those things. I want to be careful how I approach the topic because it can be interpreted different ways. Some it's not necessarily that people people may react differently because of what the topic means to them, right? Something like that. But what I don't understand is that I'm watching a lot of these social media things, and I'm seeing a lot of the people they having children, and I don't understand why would you. I'm not really talking about trying to approach the topic of ready-made families and things like that. But why would you want to have a child with someone that doesn't want to have a child with you? And then, it's one of those things. I had men say and then that it's my child, that you don't have to do anything for this child, and I take care of this child with or without you. And then they mean that until the child comes, they can't incur all those expenses. And then what do? They go down to child support enforcement and put the man on child support. Then it's like they're real independent when they're getting pregnant and when they're conceiving and when they're doing their pregnancy. But when the child comes in, then all of a sudden being independent doesn't necessarily mean as much to them. And then it's like sometimes maybe because I have brothers and I was raised by a lot of men. I worked around men predominantly. I do have sons, and I was like, I don't understand. If you really want to be a parent, male or female, if you really want to be a parent, whether you're married, which is ideal, and you can see your child, you think about it, or you've just been together for a long time. And you really want a child, so you decide, you sit down, you have a conversation, and y'all decide to have a child together, or y'all just really good friends. Maybe y'all just at a time in your life where you really want to have a child, and then both of you desire to have a child, desire to be a parent, a present parent, and you just have a desire to conceive and actually raise a child with each other. That's the part I don't understand. I sit there and I understand, as a woman, it's our bodies, and we have right to conceive and things like that, and that is all true, But at the same time, when we're talking about women, but it seems like the men, as far as not rights and things like that, it almost feels like in some ways where the men are they pretty much the women make the decision and the men have to live with it, and or if you feel some kind of way about it, then it's wrong. I don't know. It's just one of those things that's been getting my attention that I want to talk about, and I'm sure I will, and that's why I was going over to the church. I said sometime on Saturdays. I was walking over, and it's a family planning outfit. There's one of those called Planned Parenthood. I said exactly why they're at downtown Baltimore, in the Lexington Market area. And it's a Planned Parenthood, like a block or two over. And then we always talk about because I've been talking recently about the OPIL, pill, and when we talk about pregnancy and pregnancy prevention, we always focus a lot on the women. Birth control and things like that. Whatever form of contraceptive that you're using, or that works best for you. And I've only met one man in my life, honestly. He said, you know what? No, he went off and got himself, you know what? Because he knew that he didn't want to have any children. And sometimes I guess we focus, when you think about family planning and forms of contraception, we focus a lot on the women, and then sometimes the men forget that they have options. I remember I was walking past the little clinic, and some reason I got to think, because I've been watching YouTube, and I can see a lot of these young women, they're boy moms, and that's a little bless her heart may knock on your door one day. You know what? And she's not knocking on your door, not only knocking on your door, but knocking on your door in what seems to be a very delicate condition. You know what? It might be, you might be, but we're not. So I think, I think that sometimes, just as women, you think about, And I think that it's so important that the young men know, you know, that they have options available to them too, and that, you know, it's more like, I think, you know, certain things should be. He does have more of a say so than he realizes. And if I start going into more and more details, some people not gonna like it. Like, you know, because little Bus, don't tell her nothing. Don't tell her nothing. You know what? She come talking to me talking about she's pregnant. She got me, but you know what? And then sometimes, you know, people could be real independent. Because some people really desire to be a parent. They really like being a parent. They want to be a parent, whether a mother or father. They really want to be a parent, a present, a mother or father. They really want that. There's nothing wrong with that. They got places and places for people like that. But why would you desire to have a child with someone that doesn't want to have a child with you, or that you know doesn't desire to conceive a child with you? Out of all the men and the women in the world, and all the ovum and sperm in the world, why is it that you have to have that one or that one? You know. And, you know, and especially if you know that the other person doesn't feel the same way about you. Just because you decide that you want to have a family, that doesn't mean that somebody else has to feel the same way. They want the same thing at the same time with you. And I think, you know, that's what I don't understand. And it's more sometimes like people make decisions and they expect other people to live with it. And some people want to seem real independent right up until, you know, and I think it's important that the young men know that they have options too that are fully reversible. You know what? So you know you don't want to, you don't have to. Or better yet, while Miss Independent, she's so independent. And she's so independent right up until, I can't tell you what to do. Go right down to the courthouse and wave your rights, and yeah, she can keep being independent and raise that child. You know what? You know, because just because she wanted to be a parent, that doesn't mean you have to be. You know, if you're not ready. So, you know, like women and men, it's important to understand. I don't think it's fair for people to feel like they have to make decisions and other persons have to live with it. So it's more like there's conversations that need to be had. You know what? Sometimes people sneak. Now, it's conversations that need to be had. And we talk about women and how they can protect themselves against unwanted pregnancies. You know, just whatever, you know, as far as sexual health, sexual practices. But I think it's important that the young men know that they have options available too. And sometimes people tend to want to have children. Like, why would you, if you really want to be a mom, if you really want a family, and you really want what's best for the child, being married is ideal, but when you want to have a child, conceive a child, go through a pregnancy with somebody that's supportive, and raise a child with someone that actually wants to be a parent and raise a child with you. Why would you make a decision, and then it seems like the right thing until you find yourself as a single parent, and then you realize it's regardless of your support system, that's not necessarily what you thought it would be. My question is, why would you want to have a child or choose to have a child, purposely conceive a child with someone that you know does not desire the same thing with you? So just as far as the young man goes, I know we talk about women, I think it's important that they do their own research and know that they too have options. But that's something I want to talk about. That's because, I don't understand it. Why would you want to have a child with someone that you know doesn't want to have a child with you? I don't know. Anyway, I am ShanteyJ. Good morning.